And welcome back to Jeff Koinange live right here at Citizen Television. What a great conversation we're having here with David Ohito, Patience Nyange, Charles Kerich, all journalists. I wouldn't say former journalists because once a journalist, always a journalist. Hey, thank you.
That's right.
All running for office, folks. And I tell you, it's a great conversation we're having. And David, I was asking you before the break, I said, you were chief of staff in Mandera County for several years.
Yes.
Compare Mandera County to where you are now, Siaya County, your running mate for Nicholas Gumbo.
It's like day and night. You can't compare. I'm inspired in this politics by one journalist who became a statesman, and that's Winston Churchill. You know, from a columnist, a writer, a reporter, to be one of the greatest prime ministers UK has ever had over time. A little more inspired by Benito Mussolini, though he was a dictator. I don't want to go that direction. But when you see good leadership, and you see how it transforms lives of people, you see projects, money coming from Nairobi, and changing people's lives, you see measurable answers on the ground, then you know devolution is working. And if you ask me, Jeff, today, what Kenya needs in the counties are 47 statesmen to run these counties, not chatterlands who will just go to make merry around the counties, running in SUVs and all that. And it takes a lot of planning, it takes a lot of investment. Siaya County has immense potential which is untapped. I'll give you a very simple example. In Mandera County, to drill one borehole, you do up to 380 meters. And God forbid, by the time you hit water, it is salty, so all that investment is gone, like money thrown away. In Siaya County, within 30 to 60 meters, you have water. Why the people of Siaya are suffering because they have no access to clean water, God forbid. The cost of one borehole in Mandera can do about 100 boreholes in Siaya. And it just depends on which manager we're having. Siaya has a lake, has rivers, fresh water lake, fresh rivers running through. I was at home over the weekend. The tomato I ate came from Londiani. This must stop. There must be production at home. And there must be somebody to railroad the thinking of investments in the county. The levels of poverty in Siaya County are the worst. There was just a report yesterday. Why should Siaya County be as poor as Turkana, which does not see water, like Mandera, which the last time it rained was, I think, 28 months ago? There must be some inspirational leadership that will turn around things in the counties.
And you said up to now there hasn't been that kind of leadership?
There has been a foundation led by Colonel Rasanga. I won't blame him so much because he spent 2 years in court. First term, 1 whole year gone to the courts. He's not running the county. Second term, another 1 year lost in the counties. It takes a governor between 12 to 18 months to settle in office. And God forbid you have no petition. Because if you have a petition, you spend half of your time trying to find your radar and on where to go. The package I bring to Siaya, having run the county for 4 years continuously, and seeing how plans are done, how the execution is done, how you talk to the people and you invest in projects that resonate with them and improve their lives. That is the package I and engineer Nicholas Gumbo Jr. is bringing to Siaya. So there is a silent protest fomenting in Siaya that we need a change. They cannot have hospitals which are just buildings. There's no medicine. There's a very sad story of a child who had a snake bite in a place called Ndori. Ndori is about 5-6 kilometers away from Raila's home. The mother got somebody to take her to hospital in Bondo. There was no antivenom. They tried to go to Siaya about some 50 kilometers away. There was no antivenom. They now headed to Kisumu to try and find antivenom to save the life of this child. God forbid, when they arrived at Kisian, on the outskirts of Kisumu, the child died. We cannot run a county that way. There must be change. We must bring revolution to our county. And I say here to the people, great people of Siaya, If I cannot bring that change in 6 months, I have so many job offers as a journalist. I'll pack my things and go and tell Nicholas Gumbo, take your deputy governor, appoint whoever you want.
You will leave him?
And go,
If
yes.
you're not satisfied with progress.
If we cannot implement projects that will change lives of people, I have no business being there.
By the way, has it been difficult funding this campaign as UDM? Has it been tough?
It is tough. We are struggling. Kenya's election has become too commercial, too monetary. If you don't have money, you can't move. And for you to run as a governor, and sorry, this is like 10% what our counterparts in the northern Kenya, Garissa, Wajir and Mandera spend in the region of 1.5 million to 2 million shillings a day to run just town hall meetings, a few rallies here, supporting children out of school, things which should be taken care of by the counties and people in office.
Yeah.
In the north, it's about 8, 9, 10 million shillings a day. In Siaya, you may get away by giving 200 shillings, the way so many of us have gotten away with that. You do that in Mandera, they'll throw back 1,000 shilling notes back to you, at you. Kama hauna pesa, unafanya nini kwa siasa bana? So, Kenya's election, and this is part of the problem why we can't have no meritocracy in the leadership that we elect.
You're telling me they spent between 10 and 12 million shillings a day?
A day.
Yes.
In the north?
Yes. And those are distances. Siaya basically is 2,000 square kilometers. Mandera County is 56,000 square kilometers. To run from one county to the end of the county, you run about 380 kilometers. My friend, in terms of fuel alone, in terms of security, in terms of wear and tear, because they don't enjoy the good roads we enjoy. In Siaya, you can campaign in a probox or on a motorcycle. You can't do that in Mandera, or Wajir, or Garissa, or Marsabit, or Turkana. So there are different worlds with different challenges. So to try and even compare a governor from Turkana and Marsabit with a governor from Western Kenya and Kiambu, I mean, those are different worlds. Yes.
Charles Koinange, let me ask you this. Would you go back to the newsroom? Would you ever dream of going back to the newsroom, or are you done and dusted? Or if you're offered a CEC job with the new administration in Nairobi County, would you take that?
Newsroom, the answer is yes. Possibly not in terms of content collection, but more of strategic leadership and, being able to guide. Because, I've done a lot of running around with a notebook, Jeff, and I have finished very many biros, and I don't want to do that. But of course, once you're in there, then, you might want to have a regular column. You might want to participate more with the training of the young journalists and so on. So I'm never somebody to say never, say never say never. No. The county government, absolutely, especially with the right person in office. Because one thing I always tell people is that a county government rises and falls with the governor. Not the deputy or he to here, not the cabinet, not the assembly.
Sure.
It is the governor that sets the culture of a county government.
Sure.
And I have seen people who have very nice things to say about Lee, for example, in Nakuru. There are people who are really empowering in terms of understanding the talent that they have. Nairobi County government is full of talent. But anybody outside thinks, that's just a corruption cesspit where, nothing happens and so on. Whereas all these people want is to be given an opportunity to work. We have had some fantastic outcomes coming out. But why I would not mind going back also is because, you see, as he says, there is a learning curve. Yeah. And when you join a county government, it probably takes you a year just to understand what's going on. How does the budgeting cycle work? Why is it important to have something called a county fiscal strategy paper? Why do you have an integrated development plan? If you don't have it, what does it mean? Can you still do the services? So that when you have that experience, it would be a waste not to put it into practice. If today I found myself in the county government of Nairobi, number one, I would be ready to hit the ground running from day one because I know exactly what to do. Number two, I think I would also relate with the assembly wing of the county government better because I now understand the MCAs much, much better. But you see, devolution has given an opportunity to better the lives of people. Now, we, for example, have a 35 billion shilling budget in
Nairobi County.
You collect about 19 billion from the national government. The rest is what is known as on-source revenue. So you have your own revenue that you have to collect. Now, we have had a period of decline in resources. I think the highest Nairobi County collected on its own was under the Kidero government when he picked 12.3 billion shillings. But it is possible. We have the new valuation roll that we've just done that can help increase money from land rates. The Assembly has just passed the Sectional Properties Act that now allows you to give titles to individual apartments, and therefore you can collect more. But let me give you an example, for example, of the affordable housing programs that Nairobi did. So the national government has its affordable housing programs running. The county government had its own. And in my view, I think the county government's programs have been more successful because we have a big project going on in a place called Pangani. 5 acres, we demolished 48 units, and on that piece of land, we are now building 1,562 units. 48 units, now you have 1,562 coming. There's another place called Jivanji in Ngara, another 1,800 units coming. But when there was a deed of transfer and NMS came, the projects sort of lost momentum. So they will say we have made progress. But in reality, there has been no new ground broken. Now imagine bringing a new person from nowhere before they even begin to understand where to start. That's another 2 years gone. Whereas I would know and say, hey, we had another 10 estates in the pipeline. How far are we? Shall we continue? Another thing that comes out is that every year, county governments are summoned before the Senate, and you have seen it. They say in your budget you had money for the South Sudan peace process. What was all this about? Now, that appearance in the Senate after the Auditor General has released his report has become more of a circus than anything else. Because you're called and you're told, you know, you defend yourself and you go, and then the next year you come back, you appear before the Senate CPAC, you know, the Public Accounts Committee of the Senate, and you answer the same questions. And one time, when I had accompanied Governor Sonko to the Senate, I asked the senators and said, do we learn anything from all these summons and appearances year in, year out? What is the purpose of having all these sittings if nothing is changing? Shouldn't you be recommending and saying there seems to be a thread that seems to be affecting all counties? It emerges that there's a problem with procurement and payment because people are not using the IFMI system for budgeting. So you do the budget on Excel and then you export it to IFMIS. So already you do not have it, yet IFMIS has a module called Hyperion that you're supposed to be using. So my question to the Senate was a very fundamental question, that what is the purpose of the Auditor General giving a report year in, year out? The Senate receives it and devours it and summons senators and says, you had, and then it becomes a TV show being grilled and fried and roasted and whatever you want to call it. But what do you learn from it? What has changed? For the last 10 years, we've been appearing before the Senate. What has changed? So what I'm trying to say, Jeff, is that there must be a way of passing down information and from learning from the experiences that we have, so that I know that I would be a much more effective CEC today than I was before. I'm not campaigning for a job on your show.
But you mentioned Governor Lee Nyanjui, right?
Yes, in Nakuru.
Doing a good job. Who would you want to see? No, it's theory here, but who would you want to see here take over Nairobi County so that, then you can campaign for that job. You said it has to be the right governor. That's what you mentioned a moment ago.
I have to be very careful with how I answer this question that you have asked. The front runners are Polycarp Igathe, said to be a corporate titan, worked at the county for a short while before he left, saying that he had failed to earn the trust of his boss, Mike Sonko. The other candidate is Johnson Sakaja, who has actual practical political experience, has been the senator for Nairobi, and has therefore interacted with the issues of Nairobi County deeper, because, apart from being just in the Senate, he's been the senator for Nairobi. So I'm sure he has a very deep understanding. But to answer that question, I have encountered a situation where somebody, a trader, a small trader with a small, roadside shack, said that she would prefer Sakaja. And we asked why, just out of curiosity. The journalism is still, because they say he's a politician. And you say, what does that mean? Exactly what does that mean? I mean, here you have a CEO who might be able to run things in a more, organized way here. But the explanation of that person is, when somebody is a politician, if ever he demolished my shack, he would give me an alternative of where to go. A CEO would just send the bulldozers and flatten the whole place. And I thought, wow, okay. So are you saying that the thought process of a CEO and that of a politician is different? And she said, of course. You see, a politician does not want to lose votes. So he would not just flatten my shack because, And, it made me pause and think that what exactly is the Nairobian looking for? But you see, Jeff, one thing I have realized is that most residents of the county don't really know what goes on inside the county government. And that is in all counties. They don't know. They just know there's supposed to be public participation where a mic is passed around and you say your bit until you run out of saliva, pass the mic to the next person. But is it really implemented? Do you know that if somebody sat in City Hall and collected all the garbage that was available and sealed all the potholes, the public would hardly ask for anything else? Because whatever they see has been done. So there's no garbage and there are no potholes. But where does the 35 billion shilling budget go? So I think that Nairobians should really have a lot of introspection and think very carefully, not vote tribe. Please, this is Nairobi for sure. We shouldn't be thinking, what tribe are you, Jeff? What tribe are you?
Nairobian.
I don't know. Yeah. So, just think very carefully and see that you want somebody to give you value, not just to collect the garbage and cover the potholes until you have no other issue to raise. But that is for Nairobi. But there are general issues touching on the whole country that during my campaign in Bomet I encountered, and they were so endemic that I realized these are serious problems. And let me just mention a few because I don't want to hog all the time. But number one, I wish the Cabinet Secretary for Interior, who is in charge of coordination of government, can get to know some of these things that happen in the village level. There is something called cash transfer for the elderly. Have you heard about it? Mm-hmm. Anybody over the age of 70 is supposed to receive government money. There is a lot of opacity in that process. There is no clarity. This one gets, that one doesn't get. And everybody wonders, why does so-and-so, Mama so-and-so get and I don't get? Could they please just try and streamline that using the provincial administration and ensure everybody gets? Number two.
No, wait. We can talk about that all day. It's going to take all night. Let me ask Patience real quick. Would you go back to journalism before we go to the magic wall? Would you go back to journalism? If you lose to Samboja?
Yeah, but I haven't. The last time I was in a newsroom was in the year 2012. And I think I'm still largely a journalist, because from there, what I've done is really journalism, but I moved from journalism to corporate communications. I moved to public relations. However, in the last 2 to 3 years, I've served as a board member of the Media Council of Kenya. What I've really done is Media Council regulates the practice of journalism in Kenya. So I'm still largely a journalist. I love being one, but it's skills that I have. I have my voice that I can go back to the newsroom and use my voice. I love being in radio. I could easily go back and have a show and, entertain people and speak about my life experiences. When I started as a young girl of 21 years, now I'm heading to 40, so I have really gathered life experience of about 20 years. So when I get to show today, my experience is different. I'm a different radio presenter altogether, but I still have my voice. I still have my understanding of what journalism is. So I think I will one day do my show. I would love to be a journalist, but I'm not sure if I will want to practice now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd love to do more public relations.
Okay, let's go to the magic wall. Lots of feedback tonight. Lots of feedback. Tweets coming in very thick and very fast. Nahashan J. Adero says, Taita Taveta is rich in springs and mineral resources, complete with Kenya's premier university of mining. Huh? What transformational agenda does Nyange, the governor, have for collaboration with the university for knowledge-led socio-economic transformation? Patience, did you hear that?
Yeah. I did.
Okay, what's your answer? What transformational agenda do you have?
Yeah, I would like to partner with the universities in Taita Taveta. We have the Taita Taveta Technical University, which is one really of our partners. We are happy to engage with them. We are happy to talk to them. We are happy to engage with the students, with the administration, with the understanding that we would like to do more of collaboration and exchange, programs, exchange, and bring more practitioners even from outside and bring them and try and see if there are things we can exchange from Taita Taveta to the world. And my hashtag has always been Taita Taveta to the world. So I think we can use the resources that we have within the universities, which is really the students that are there, the teachers as well, and try and take it to another level.
Yeah.
So I think really trying to see what we have at the moment. My first work as a governor is really to do county auditing of all the resources, including the universities. And then we can try and see from there what skills we have, what can we transfer, what can we bring on board. And I think from there we will have a transformational agenda. Okay.
Okello Mwalimu is saying, remind the good lady and the gentleman that a majority of Kenyan voters are guided by propaganda, bribe, ethnicity, and one's longevity in a race. For them to mount serious campaigns against their seasoned rivals, they must be deep-pocketed and learn how to insult. Watawezana, David Ohito. Watawezana.
Tuko gangari Siaya na wanajua wenzetu wako chini, wamekimbia. We will smoke them out. We are not leaving any village untouched. Watch this space.
Yeah.
A new governor in town, August 9th. A Goliath will go home.
I like that, short and to the point. Chester Nyantika says, His Excellency Benjamin Mkapa, third president of Tanzania, Naftali Bennett, Israel premier, etc., were once reputable journalists, and as such, the trio of journalists can make it to the political offices of their choices, depending on political dynamics, terrain, and of their respective regions. Good point, Chester, good point. He's saying there is hope. Senior Ndwaru KE says, journalism offers great experience on matters affecting the people. Journalists interact with people at the lowest levels, getting in touch with everyday challenges faced by citizens. With determination, journalists can make a great leader. True, true, true. Obar Mark Aswela says, I served under David Ohito some 3 years. He is a gentleman, result-oriented, and a great digital media techie. I thank him for mentorship and wish him well. You remember this man, Obar?
I know him very well. That is what I'm taking to see, mentorship and making a difference in people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
Very good, very good. Steve O'War says, congratulations and good luck to all of them for the bravery as a media enthusiast and political activist. I feel encouraged. The future is bright. God bless Kenya. Nice. Good tweets, good tweets. Okay. Patrick Kamau says, brilliant minds, great ideas, offering possible and practical solutions. They deserve a chance in the new revolution. Kudos. Closing thoughts, folks. We'll start with you, David Oito, going forward.
Thank you, Jeff. It's been a great show, but we must go out and serve the people. What the people are looking for are servant leadership, people who will resolve their problems in the easiest way using the resources that have come to their coffers. But I agree with Koinange, my good friend, that the time for governors who just wait for the exchequer is over. You must have thinkers who will do proper papers and look for monies to come from other many donors to take advantage of the great potential of Siaya and the rest of the counties in Kenya. The time for change is now. You people of Siaya must elect the right leadership. We don't want to recycle old leadership that has nothing to show. Thank you.
Just like that. Koinange, you go. Closing thoughts going forward.
Our national assemblies and Senate have traditionally largely been populated by people from the legal profession. They seem to have some advantage in terms of getting into parliament and maintaining those positions, so that getting media people or journalists into parliament was considered quite new. And there are some names that you read out about our colleagues that have broken that ground. So I think media people offer a perspective that is quite unique. And I would like to encourage any colleague who feels called to serve not to shy away. I think we probably have a different, maybe not better or anything. Maybe the lawyers have the advantage that they bring, but also getting people from the newsroom with that exposure would also be a good thing. So I think this is a bit of a groundbreaking experience that we are seeing now. So I want to encourage my two colleagues as they push on with the fight. I have personally pulled out of the race. I am here now, available to come for a cup of tea in your office tomorrow, Jeff.
Absolutely.
But I think it's been a good run.
Yeah.
And I think Kenya really does need to think very carefully about the leadership that it gets. Let's look for people who can move our country forward and not just people looking for employment.
Absolutely. Patience Nyange, you had the first word. You get the last word.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Jeff. It's been a brilliant show. And listening to my seniors, because they are my seniors in the profession, I'm really encouraged. For Taita Taveta, I think it's a time for us to imagine our possibilities. It's a time for us to engineer our possibilities, to think of how we can change that community and give and think about the generation that is behind us. So I'm looking for an opportunity to serve my people. I am ready. I am capable. I am a woman who is capable, because most of the time, they look at you as a woman and they go like, ataweza kweli? We are ready for a woman governor. The county is ready and we are up to the task. And my able deputy governor, Mr. Dalton Mogogo, he's also able and really ready to serve the people. So we are here, we are looking for an opportunity to change the fortunes in Taita Taveta. I, Patience Nyange, will do everything that is humanly possible to see that Taita Taveta clinches the seat. And I believe that the next time I am here, if you don't call me between now and August, then you'll be calling me as the governor of Taita Taveta County.
Governor Mtarajiwa.
Governor Mtarajiwa. No, saizi kwanza ni governor mtakiwa. Mama, wewe ndio tunakutaka. Sasa ni governor mtakiwa.
Patience Nyange, Charles Koinange, David Oito, thank you so much for representing us. Huh? You guys make us proud. You really do. Keep it up and good luck. Good luck. Wow, what a conversation, folks. Are you listening? It's up to you. You give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. Teach him how to fish. He'll eat forever. There you go. That's the message I'm getting from my fellow journalists right here today. Talking the talk. What do you think? Keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff, at Citizen TV Kenya, the hashtag JKLive. And remember, if it's Wednesday, it's those three letters on the keyboard that follow each other. JKLive. Thanks so much for watching. Good night. Good luck. God bless you all.